The 2021 Land Rover Discovery Sport. Is it much different from the previous generation? Definitely not. Does it look modern and outdated at the same time? Hell yes. Whether you are a company wanting to lease or a novice buyer, is this the one you should be spending all your hard-earned money on? Well, let's review it and find out. So, introduction aside, I'm doing this car review slightly differently. I guess you can consider it vlog style, but I only have a couple hours with this car, so I do apologise if it does come across as rushed. Jumping over to the tech specs, it's the 2021 Land Rover Discovery Sport HSE with the R Dynamic package on it. Engine wise, you've got the 2-litre diesel engine, but you don't really get much choice in terms of the engines if you ask me. This 2-litre one, which is the 180D, is currently pushing around 177 brake horsepower and 320 pounds-foot of torque to all the wheels. Top speed wise, you're looking at 125 miles per hour, and it takes around 9.2 seconds to 60, weighing in at around 2 tons. So not too bad, not too good, essentially. Moving on to a couple of things I don't like about this car. Here's why. My first issue are these center caps. Now, as cool as they look with the Land Rover badge on them, after a couple of years they start to discolor and it looks really cheap and nasty, and I don't really like it. I see it on 15 reg, 14 reg Range Rover Sports with very similar alloys with the center caps, and it just looks really cheap and tacky, especially when these get curbed. Moving on to my next issue. This one's a bit of a strange one, to be honest, and it's when you turn on the let's turn on the car first of all. Give me 1 second. Turn on. Right, listen to this. Can you hear that? Every time you put the rear demister on, it makes this weird noise, and I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's an issue with this car or if it's just an issue in general. On to our next issue with this car, and since we're in the cabin, it's worth mentioning, and it's the reliability and the lack of quality in this car in some elements. For example, the plastic piece around the engine start-stop button is essentially broken, and it looks very cheap and flimsy, along with this plastic cover to cover the cup holders that when you take it off, you don't know where on earth to put it. I mean, you've got to take into consideration this car costs from anything between 45 to 50 grand, and you kind of are expecting better in some sense. But look, it's not all bad news with the Discovery Sport. There are things I like. The wider grille, the facelifted version, even though it doesn't look that different from the prior one, it does look more aggressive and it's set off more nicely. The LED lights front and back, and the LED lights actually do a cool swoosh when you turn it on. Check this out. Yeah, now we like that, and the indicators as well. Some other styling elements that you've probably missed off if you weren't paying attention, but look, you've got a little fake diffuser here. If we move over to the left side, the side of the car, a nice kink in between the rear mirror and the rear quarter light. And of course, the most important one, this gloss black piece here that is a pedestrian airbag. As you can see, it's got an airbag logo on the front side in bold. Onto some other bits that I love about this car, one of them being the 10-inch massive display that you get along with these cool climate controls. I mean, check how you change the driving modes in this car. You press this button right here and it gives you a bunch of options to choose from. When you press it again, it changes into the climate controls, and it's a very clever, intuitive multifunction design. Also, the sunroof cover operation as well. Every time you get in the car, the sunroof opens as per. There you go. And vice versa, when you leave the car, lock the car, the cover will close. And it's very useful, especially on hot days. It prevents your car from getting really hot. Oh, and check this out. Check this out. Look how cool this is, right? You've got the mirror there. Of course, visibility isn't that great out the back, but Land Rover have implemented a little camera, and boom. Now that is cool. guys, and now let's go for a little small drive. And first off, I've noticed this car is so quiet, so refined and elegant, and the suspension on this car is so smooth. You do not notice any bumps on the road at all, and the UK is literally filled with potholes. Yeah, I think Land Rover, you really can't compare anyone in terms of comfort levels and how they, I don't know, manage their cars mechanically, but it's just different. It's different to any other car on the road. This car also has the Meridian sound system, and if you crank the volume too high on that accidentally, it will blow your eardrums. It's so good, and it is extremely bassy. I've noticed as well there is loads of space in this cabin, more than you ever need, to be honest. For a family of 4, it's pretty much perfect. I also got to say, I do love the digital dials. The navigation system is a bit outdated, but you could use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Even though this car also has a 67-litre fuel tank, the fuel economy is kind of dreadful. I'm doing around 34 mpg, which is very surprising since this car is the 2-litre diesel. You'd think it'd be chomping up those miles on the motorway, but it's otherwise. Riding positions nice up and high. You do feel like you do own the road in some element. The downfall with this car is majority of them are lease deals, and I don't think anyone really goes out personally to buy a Land Rover Sport Discovery. I know that sounds pretty bad, but it's somewhat the truth. It's not a fast car at all. It only revs to 4 and a bit thousand RPM, so very slow, but pickup is quick. Of course, it's a torquey car, it's a diesel, but really not fast at all. It feels somewhat slower than the stated figures. This is the R Dynamic package, so it gets the paddle shifters. In other models, you don't get that, which is a bit hideous, so you'd have to shift with the knob down here. Other diesel variants, you've got the 150D and 180, and of course the 240D. The entry-level one, the 150D, you can get it in a front-wheel drive manual, but that'd be one hell of an interesting car to take off-road and drive, because it's literally opposite of what you need it to do. Can't go off-road because it's front-wheel drive, and it's very slow. Pretty much worst case scenario there, guys. One thing I don't like though is on the displays and on the steering wheel, they've changed all the buttons to haptic feedback, clear screen type stuff, and it's not that responsive. It's kind of fiddly in some sense. The seats are nice and comfortable, so there's no hassle on long journeys, but you can also get them in vegan leather. I'm not too sure if these are vegan leather because they do feel a little bit fake, if I must say so myself. What a smooth, luxurious drive. I really do want to take this car off-road, but that's not possible. It's quite a big car as well. You got to take into consideration this is the smaller Discovery. No idea why Land Rover decided to pump this car out, but I believe it is a car that is going to be discontinued, so I'm not too sure what it's replacing at the moment. So what about the gearbox? Well, it's a automatic 8-speed, and it's, say, not the best of gearboxes, to be honest. You'll probably find something much better in a probably Skoda Kodiaq or something like that. The shifts between the gears are seamless, but it's just doesn't work well with the car. Hazard button is really small. I don't even know why. You'd expect a big hazard button right there, but it's about the size of my pinky, the width of my pinky, and it's too small. So yeah, overall opinions, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was going to be terrible, but it's okay. It's all right. Anyway, look, I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.